I'm so tired of networking, hearing that I would be a great fit for a certain position, applying, and getting rejected 48 hours later by a hiring manager. Is this happening to anyone else? I'm having a good time finding people in my industry or in positions I want to be in and having great conversations about what they do. Often they'll refer me to someone they know that's hiring and tell me how I fit what they were looking for and would be great at doing size and should talk to them about certain skills I have when I get the interview. I've even reached out to someone who happened to be leaving their position, and they liked me so much they put in a good word for me to be their replacement. Then the same thing happens every time. I eagerly apply and start preparing for what I would say given an opportunity to interview. Feel good about my experiences and qualifications, etc. A few days later, I get a generic "Unfortunately, you have not been selected at this time" rejection email. Not once have I even gotten an initial interview, even with glowing recommendations. Like, how does this keep happening? How am I so qualified and experienced and likable when I talk to real people? But then when I apply for the very same position I would supposedly thrive in, I don't even know if they bothered to read my resume and cover letter. It makes me think no matter how qualified or skilled I ever become, even if I grind over the next decade to get 10 years of experience, I will always end up in the same trash can of rejections. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I am having the same issue. Longevity, experience, and an excellent letter of recommendation. I've had many rejections or no response at all. I really did not think that it would be this difficult to find a job. Something will come along. Good luck to you. They don't want to hire someone with experience unless they were willing to work for intern pay. Yeah, I have two different scenarios. One, I work in a big bank and internal networking is a huge thing, and I do it as much as I can, successfully. I met people from other departments, talked to them, they told me I'm a great fit, but since it is the corporate world, there is no jumping over positions that easily. So I need at least 3 years of experience at my current job and 2 more in leadership to be considered. 2. Looking for work outside of the bank. I met and know lots of people in high managerial positions and had great talks with them. So they tell me I would fit in great, but when I send them the resume and cover letter, they tell me I don't have the exact experience they need. I know that's exactly why I'm networking. I may not have the technical capabilities to match the job ad, but I have the soft skills and proven ability to learn fast. Exact same issue here. Even had potential bosses review my documents and get excited for me to apply, only for me to be shut down by her before any interview stage. I truly don't know what's wrong, but I don't want to spend $400 on coaching since this networking should be working, but it's not. I don't have any advice, but you are not alone. Absolutely. It is so frustrating to know that the actual people you would be working with would love to have you on their team, but that you were unable to get there because you have to go through the dog and pony show with her first. It really highlights how many job requirements are fake and how they are just used by her to find a candidate who checks all their meaningless boxes instead of one that can actually do the job. In my experience, paying for coaching to land a job is a waste of money. A lot of landing a job is luck. If you want to improve your answers, go through Reddit. Oh ye, been rejected by a few final interviews within the last 6 months. It feels like you have to be perfect and have the exact experience that they are looking for lately. So many jobs by me have at least 500 applicants. I think the economy is still in horrible shape, but still better than last year. The US Treasury Secretary and Jerome Powell both think that the true unemployment rate is around 10. The unemployment rate was that high at the peak of the Great Recession. I've got those same rejection letters recently after applying to positions that were basically a mirror image of my last 12 years in the tech industry. It is definitely not you that has some shortcoming as an applicant. It is the employer-assuring manager. I have a theory on what might be happening. It sounds like you are reaching out directly to peer-level or manager-level contacts before applying to opportunities, getting a referral, and then applying online. In many cases, it is actually better to go the other way around, first applying and then reaching out. The reason for this is that there could be a lot of things happening with the role while you are networking, and by the time you are getting officially considered, too much time has passed. Or the individuals reviewing resumes, usually her recruiting, feel that you are trying to game the system by not applying first, so they are holding it against you. Also, If the requirement says 3 years of relevant professional experience and you have 2 years, many companies will have a non-negotiable rejection. I've even seen executive referrals rejected due to minimum qualifications, with the only caveat being certain engineering roles where if someone can code and/or has advanced degrees, they may get a pass on some of the experience, or the employer will count fringe experience like internships or side projects. This happens at my current company, where people will reach out to various contacts and get referred, but then they do not qualify for the level they are applying for, or there is another disqualifier, work authorization, not open to relocation, etc., and they end up getting rejected almost immediately, even though they spent time talking with someone on the team and they were a match from a general skills perspective. Networking is a way to get your foot through the door. There's this misconception that a referral will get you a job. A referral only gets you past the ads and gets a human to look at the resume. You may get a phone interview if the hiring manager likes your profile. Unless your recommendation comes from or something, a job is not guaranteed. Did you get any feedback from the interviews? Did you maybe you need to revisit your answers and examples. I know it sucks, but hang in there. Something is around the corner. This is really good advice. I referred someone I met at an event I was speaking at for a job on my team 2 down from me. I liked her and thought she'd be a good fit, but that was really only from a brief in-person convo and a follow-up phone convo. This was before I even had the opening. I ultimately let the hiring manager, my direct, make the decision. She decided to bring her on board, but still had the candidate go through the same process as other candidates in terms of interviewing with others on the team. She could be easily gone with another candidate. Similarly, I've had referrals from execs for roles and that got my foot in the door, but have been rejected at various stages, sometimes after the first screen, sometimes later rounds, because I ultimately wasn't a good fit for the company or the role. My current role was through a referral of someone who now reports to me, but by the time I got to the final rounds, none of the actual decision makers even remembered that I came in through a referral, meaning I got the offer on my own merit. I think you are misunderstanding my post. Even getting a recommendation from the supervisor doesn't get a human to look at your resume. I don't have any feedback from interviews because I can't even get an interview. But when I do talk to people informally, I do pretty well. Sadly, nowadays networking outweighs credentials. So many underqualified people out there with higher positions. So many under there with higher you done got it 11 hours ago. I think nowadays is all days ever. You just didn't know about it before. 49 reply share report save continue this thread. I mean, Americans or Westerners will never say direct no in front of audience, especially when requested upon something like a job or any financial matter. As a non-American, I don't hear any negative remarks when I'm physically present, but I know they will talk about me when I don't do well, just in a closed door or with inner circle. Unfortunately, that's where we live. I would rather face someone yelling at me literally like, "Why are you even born? Why your parents did not teach this," than hearing, "Oh, you have such a great resume and high potential. Apply for this job," only to find out, unfortunately, we find another candidate. I mean, it is stressful to work in an environment where my boss yelled at me, almost ranting about my parents' family for an hour or even more. But it is also equally stressful to live in a society that no one will say bad thing about you, only in front of your face, but they will make fun of you behind closed door. I suggest, though, you just keep applying, or if you don't like this kind of societal structure, perhaps looking at other countries might be better off. All I am saying is that everyone deserves better than this. What county do you live in? If it is too personal, you don't have to answer. Wait, you are networking and getting people to talk to you like real-life humans. The contacts I have are completely and utterly useless, as in they don't want to help me by referring me to a position in their company, or even if they do, they don't have any real influence over anything. I can't make new contacts. I'll mail and message people through LinkedIn and nothing. I've even joined local professional organizations and have asked about shadowing opportunities and don't even get a single reply back. Like, Do I have to suck a dick or something? I'm joking, but sometimes this networking thing is too difficult and seems like total Do I have something too difficult? Networking thing, something at least you were able to network. That counts for something. I had the same issue when I was doing my last round of applications. The then co-founder of the company told me I should apply in the department he oversaw, and they still didn't even give me an interview. I guess maybe he was just being nice. He ultimately said they wanted someone with more experience than I. Maybe try opening up your LinkedIn for recruiters to see. That is how I actually found a position that hired me. I've been lucky to experience the opposite, but that's just because my industry is picking back up quickly after the pandemic. My guess. The economy in general is still a flaming pile of garbage. The business networking culture is still there, but the pro-hiring sentiment is not. Or if it is, competition is still incredibly high. Ooh. Here's a fun one for you. I've been at my current company 2 years. A co-worker comes up to me and tells me she is leaving and thinks I would make a great replacement for me. She mentors me. I buy classes online to fill some gaps, and I apply for the job. I go through the whole interview process and the hiring manager tells me I got the job. He just needs to submit for the paperwork. 2 months later, her tells me I can't have it. I don't meet the minimum qualifications. Hiring manager, now very pissed, tells me that when attempting to hire someone with the perfect qualifications, that person wanted 25 minimum over the approved budget. I was the perfect compromise. Except her won't budge and give me the job. The won't give the job to someone without the experience at a bit lower pay that was mentored by and came highly recommended by the previous person with the job, but they won't pay for someone with the exact qualifications they were looking for. It is very frustrating. I can relate. I have been looking for a job for almost 5 years now. I just want to scream in their face and ask, what the hell are you looking for? I went through what you went through for 1 whole year. I would do the interviews well and somehow I'd get rejected or ghosted at the end of 4 rounds of interviews. Why does this keep happening? The reasons vary so much, and sometimes they have nothing to do with you. Budget for the job opening closed, or it has been put on hold. Why? Many reasons. The company is about to release quarterly earnings, and adding a lot of new hires puts more hits on costs and in turn reduces profit. The guy who is supposed to approve the budget quit, and the others don't get why this job adds value to the company. They are too busy with other matters to care. Other times, the person approving budget went on vacation or went on paternity leave. Since more people are going to college today, the competition for any job is fierce. 500 applicants for 1 job. Fierce? This makes trying to get into Harvard look like a walk in the park. Time of year. If you apply for jobs during Thanksgiving or Christmas, don't expect anything to come through. If you want a job, usually the best time to land a job is right after quarterly earnings are released. You're underestimating that you are not the only one who is getting these referrals to these positions. You're possibly one of dozens doing the same. So effectively, it's not a guarantee, just a better standing than someone with no connection to the company. Did a virtual career fair, told me I'd be a great fit on all of them.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.